In this video, I just want to do a recap of my recent book launch and share a few things that I've learned in the process that I think are really important in today's Kindle market. As I've mentioned a few times throughout the course, my old strategy was just to launch a book, put it for free for 5 days, and let the sales roll in. But over the last couple of years, that strategy has come to work less and less. It still does work, but the results are sort of average. And I'm looking for more significant results, as I'm sure you are. So I'll just recap my marketing expenses, my income for the first 21 days, and some of the actions that I took. I'll touch on some things that didn't really work, and then I'll focus on the things that did work. So first, let's talk about what I spent. I spent a total of $21 on marketing, which honestly normally I don't spend anything, but since I wanted to make this a more significant launch, I spent a little bit of money. Plus, I consider this a marketing cost. I went out and spent an extra $15 on an Upwork designer to have a decent cover made. And I'm really happy with the cover that they designed. They actually took my logo here from my Udemy course and incorporated it into this nice cover. And there are really going to be two things that I want you to take away from this video. One of them is to make an awesome cover, and the other one is to get reviews right away. And I'll talk more about reviews in a minute, but let me show you the other covers that I had made on Fiverr, and you'll be able to see the difference. So here's the final one that I spent $15 on at Upwork. And to be honest, I feel like I got a really good deal on that. I put a bid out for $20, and one person who actually was a really good designer actually underbid at $15, and I was ecstatic. But I think if I could have got this cover for $20 or even $25 or $30, I think I would have been pretty happy with it, because I really do think it makes a huge difference on the sales and the click-through rates. Here's another one that I had made on Fiverr, and you can see it's not terrible, but it's also not great. And this is after a revision or two, but the lettering is just kind of amateurish. And I actually sent this out to my advanced reader group, my email list, and I asked a couple of people and they gave me that feedback, which confirmed my own suspicions that it was kind of amateurish. So that was really helpful. And then here's the other one that was made on Fiverr. And again, I mean, you can just see a drastic difference. I mean, I could come up with that pretty easily. But it looks like something that was made on Fiverr, and it looks like a cheap ebook cover. And you'll also notice originally I had this big, really big, long subtitle to get keywords in there, and I decided to take that out because it just was making a mess of things. So there's the final, much cleaner, much more professional looking. So $15 really well spent. Okay, so that's how much I spent. Second, let's look at the income. So we'll go to the Kindle Direct Publishing dashboard, and I've just done a search here for Content is King, so I bring up that title so it's easy to look at. My total sales is 43 books. 3 of those were at a 99-cent price. I had the idea of, right after I took it off of free, of selling it for 99 cents because that's something I read on a blog somewhere. Supposedly that boosts your sales for the first couple of weeks, but to be honest, I had it at 99 cents for a couple of days and it didn't do anything. So I put it straight back up to $3.99, and so 40 of those sales are at $3.99. And that's on a 70% royalty, so that's about $111. So that's the first 21 days of the book sales. So in 21 days, if you subtract the cover and the marketing costs, which totals $36, from $111, that's a 21-day profit of $75. So it's not the hundreds of dollars that I would have loved to see, but it's definitely better than some of the results that you'll get from just putting a book out, putting it for free for 5 days, and kind of seeing what happens. Okay, so let's talk about the strategy. How did I get 43 sales in the first 21 days? And also, how did I get 919 free copies downloaded? And how did I get 7 reviews in the first 21 days? And more importantly, what will I do next time to do even better? So the first thing I want to talk about, which I'm a huge fan of at this point, is this Fiverr gig, BK Nights. And I'm very skeptical of Fiverr gigs, particularly when they're doing marketing for you or anything like that for $5. But you can see this one has 15,000 reviews. And I've read on multiple authors' blogs that they love and use this every time they launch a book. And I've tried it now on 2 different books, and it definitely increased the number of free downloads that I received. And you can see they have a couple of gigs. They have this one here where they'll promote your book to 4,800 of their Kindle readers on their website. So it's just basically one of those free promo sites, but they just happen to have a more targeted audience, I think, and it seems to be more effective. So I did that one for $10, and then I also did another gig, this one, to submit it to the 15 best promotional sites. And to be honest, it's hard for me to recommend the services of someone else, especially when I don't get hard, fast numbers that I can show you proof of how many, free downloads I received directly from this. But I can tell you that I've tried it twice and I've seen good results, so I will continue to use these guys. The other thing I did was I went to this website, which I really like, Kindlepreneur with Dave Chesson, and he has 79 sites to promote your Kindle book, free and paid services. So what I did was, and honestly I hate doing this, but I did it because I wanted to get the most traction that I could. But I went down to his list here, right here, the ultimate list of free book promotion sites, and he has, let's see, he has 35 different sites that you can just click on and go to and submit your book to. Now a few of them, actually about a dozen of them, were a real hassle to submit to. You have to do different logins and you have to jump through hoops and all this stuff that I chose not to do, because my philosophy was any of these sites that I can just go to, click on, submit my book details, maybe a description, maybe a ASIN number, which if you want to know what an ASIN number is, it's this guy right here. A lot of these free sites will ask you to submit that, and a link to your book, which you just copy that out of the Amazon page up here. But that was my criteria. A few of them were just too complicated to really seem to be worth it. So long story short, I submitted to about 20 of these sites to sort of hedge my bets. And to be honest, I think the BK Nights Fiverr gig probably did more for me than the 3 hours that I spent submitting to these things. So those are a couple of things that I did that worked. And the highest I got in the rankings for free was, I believe, around 462. Might have gotten a little bit higher when I wasn't looking, but I never did get into the top 100 free, which was my goal. And the reason the top 100 free in the Kindle store was my goal is because once you get onto that page, a lot of people start seeing your book. So it's kind of like having a YouTube video go viral. You can go from sort of a good launch with a decent amount of sales to an awesome launch with thousands and thousands and thousands of downloads, which means higher ranking, more reviews, and then when your book goes to paid, then you have a lot of momentum built up. So probably one of the most important things that I did was I sent out an advanced reader copy to the subscribers of my Passive Income Project blog. So people who have signed up for my email list here, I sent out an advanced reader copy about 10 days before the launch of my book, and I basically just said, hey, I'd love to get your feedback and I want to share a free book with you. And that was really valuable because I not only got good feedback on the cover, which is what motivated me to change the cover sort of at the last minute from the crappy Fiverr cover to a decent $15 Upwork cover, but it also gave me some really incredible feedback on the actual contents of the book. I wound up writing a couple of extra chapters based on feedback that I got, and I also wound up rewriting like probably half the book based on some really great feedback. So I cannot emphasize enough how important that is. The other thing that it helped me a lot with is I asked very, very gently for reviews on my Amazon page. And those are where these 7 reviews came from. Now I'll probably get more trickling in as a lot of the free downloads read the book and as some of the actual purchases read the book and finish it and go back to leave a review. But that definitely takes more time, and it's really important to have those reviews up front. Now this is a great strategy to use if you're launching a book that you wrote yourself and that you're very proud of. If you've done the work to make it a great book, which you should, and you've got a beautiful cover and the whole package is really awesome, then there's no reason why you can't feel confident connecting with family and friends and just your whole network and asking this of them. If they want to say no, they can say no, and that's fine, and you just respect that. But a lot of people will really enjoy the process, and that's what I learned from sending this out to my email list. A lot of people really enjoyed that and really got involved in the process, and a number of people actually just, combed through the entire book and did full-on edits for me and sent me back, lists of corrections and improvements that I could make, and that was not only very flattering and just meant the world to me, but it was also extremely valuable for the quality of the book. Now, if you're publishing books that are written by freelancers, you're outsourcing your books and you're publishing a large number of books, I don't recommend battering your family and friends over and over with book launches. This is definitely more for if it's a personal book and you've really put your heart and soul into it. And if you're like me and you don't really love promoting things to your family and friends, another strategy you could use is you could get involved in Facebook pages, forums, or other sort of niche areas online that are related to your topic, and get involved in those and spend some time networking and getting to know people so that when it does come time to launch your book, again, you have a community of people that you can reach out to and basically just ask for help. And you'll be surprised if you've put in a little bit of time to connect with the community. It doesn't really matter where that community is, as long as it's relevant to your book and your book is a topic that they are interested in, you're going to have pretty good success asking people for help, especially if you're giving them something free that you've put your heart and soul into. So just to recap, I definitely recommend going with the free promotion sites, and I loved that BK Knight's Fiverr gig. I will definitely be using that again. Definitely spend an extra few, $10 or $20 to get a good cover, because that will make all the difference. Get feedback on your book from anybody that you can trust and just feel comfortable with their feedback, so you can make the actual contents of your book much, much better. Connect with an audience, whether it's on an email list that you've created, whether it's Facebook pages that you're part of, whether it's friends or family. Send them out advanced reader copies, ask for their feedback, get them involved in the process, and value their feedback. Use their feedback to make a much better book, and then specifically ask those people for reviews on the day of the launch. If you can get 25 reviews on your book on the day of the launch, you're going to be way ahead of the competition, and you're going to be way ahead of the game when you launch your next book.